The Lord be with you. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Luke. Jesus said to his disciples, "I have come to set the earth on fire, and how I wish it were already blazing. There is a baptism with which I must be baptized, and how great is my anguish until that is accomplished. Do you think that I have come to establish peace on the earth? No, I tell you, but rather division. From now on, a household of 5 will be divided, 3 against 2, 2 against 3. A father will be divided against his son, a son against his father, a mother against her daughter, and a daughter against her mother, a mother-in-law against her daughter-in-law, and a daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law." The Gospel of the Lord Jesus Christ. Now, any of you who fall into this category, daughter, son, mother-in-law, father-in-law, don't say, "See, my life is a cross." Even Jesus said, "I have to have problems with my daughter-in-law, mother-in-law, my father, or my son." No, that's not condoning your dysfunctional behavior if you have such in your family. Jesus is very clear as to what he's doing tonight, but it's clouded in gospel message. And if he had given only this little excerpt as the whole gospel, something would be lacking. And this gospel certainly reflects an attitude that Jesus has. He says, "Do you think I came to establish peace?" Now, you and I look at Jesus in the statues, we look at Jesus in the mirrors and the stained glass, and he's always nice, and even if he's crowned with thorns, he's not crying, he's not angry, and even if he's being scourged, we have that neutral look on his face. No. When you screw up, Jesus is angry, pure and simple. He made it very clear tonight, I'm not here to make everybody nice, all gather in a little circle and sing pretty songs. I'm here to set the world on fire. Now, if you're sitting in church now, we have no air conditioning, it feels like we're already there. That doesn't apply either, okay? This isn't the fire he's talking about. The fire he's talking about is the fire of our faith. We are living through spiritual battles today. Maybe personally, maybe only in society, maybe in the global arena. We are living through spiritual battles every day. And Jesus prepares us for this in the scriptures, and the other scriptures, letter to the Hebrews and the first reading from Jeremiah, also give us a way of preparing. I mean, look at Jeremiah. He did only good. He was a pain in the neck, though. He called it the way it was. He didn't sugarcoat things. Basically, this period of Jeremiah's life goes back to when the Israelites were at war with Babylonia. And the Babylonians wanted to make a compromise. And Jeremiah said, no, don't trust them. Remember the old Trojan horse? It's not related to this, but it's the same idea. Don't trust them. And those who were the politicians who wanted to trust the Babylonians told the king, hey, he's ruining us. He's breaking down our morale. But see, he was acting on the part of God, not on the part of the politicians, not on the part of the king. And his message came from God. And God knew, I can't tell you what God knew, but we know from the scriptures that if the Israelites made bargains with the Babylonians would have taken them over and forced them to put polytheistic statues in their temple and to worship many different gods and goddesses. Because politics and religion were really tight in this period. So Jeremiah says, no, don't do this. It's going to ruin our faith. It's going to ruin the faith of our young people. It's like teaching them garbage. And the king gave in, and you heard what happened to Jeremiah. Let me reiterate it if you didn't. They stuck him in a cistern. Now, we don't have any. Some people would like to have their own cisterns. A well, huge well. And they made it clear there was no water in this well. It was only mud. So those who disagreed with Jeremiah were ordered by the king to get rid of him. They threw him down the well, the cistern, where he sunk in the mud. He was rescued, but he was punished for acting on God's behalf. Now, I shouldn't tell you what you think or not, you may not think this is happening today. It is. We are fighting spiritual battles every day. I saw a play, I'm not going to name the name of it, recently with family, and the play had to do with a period of history, of church history. It wasn't the focus, but it was a period. If you knew the play, you'd know what I'm talking about. And in it, the king in that period was terror. He destroyed the church. Okay, it was Henry VIII. He destroyed the church in England. He took over the church in England. His title from the Pope prior to this was Defender of the Faith. That's a pretty awesome religious title. But he turned. Another very good example of a spiritual battle. He turned against God, the church, the Pope, for his own personal wishes. You can look it up in history, you know what those wishes were. But as a result of this, hundreds of people were killed. Hundreds of monks were killed in their monasteries. And there's a phrase, dissolution of the monasteries took place. You walk to England or Ireland today, many of the monasteries' remnants are standing because they represent the power of the person who fights God. They represent physical aspects of spiritual battles. So that king can be put aside as a name, but the idea of his power being so awesome and negative still goes on today. And it may not be in the leadership of a particular person, but it certainly happens with even what was in that play. A reference, a comic reference to the dissolution of monasteries, a comic reference to the many ways this king destroyed the Catholic Church in England and brought many people down with him. But that's hundreds of years ago, isn't it? Well, I don't know, because today we have a different kind of spiritual battle going on. It starts in our own church. Where are the heart and soul of our church? Where is the future of our church? Remember first communions? Remember confirmations? God bless you. And remember all those things that happen in the church to our young people? And so many of our young people look upon the church as an anomaly. Like we're out of touch. And they've shifted their allegiance to communism. They've shifted their allegiance to wokeism. They've shifted their allegiance to self. So when Jesus says, don't think I came to make peace, I want you to wake up and realize that I am bringing fire on the earth. And you know what? You and I are in charge of that fire. As people leave our faith or people denigrate our faith, it's up to us to endure and stand up and defend our faith. The letter to the Hebrews reminds us of that. You think you're suffering? You didn't shed blood as Jesus did. He suffered. Your job, all of us as Christians, is to live the faith and defend the faith. And the more we are persecuted, and you know what, this doesn't happen overtly, it happens quietly and sarcastically. The more we are persecuted for our faith, the more we need to stand up and let our faith in Jesus Christ be known to people. And don't be wishy-washy. We can't be wishy-washy. You can't say, well, I go to church, I say my prayers. No, that's not enough. We have to go to church, receive the Eucharist that strengthens us and turns us on to continue Jesus' message of clearing the earth of all falsehood, removing all the nihilism of the earth, removing the vague and often loud attention that is given to negativity, remove the desecration of the church. Does it happen only here in our city? No, it happens throughout the world. We can go online tonight and find out the latest church that was bombed in some foreign country. See, it's still going on. We are in a spiritual battle. And the world looks to you and to me. And I like the fact that Jesus says, you're going to be split. Mother-in-law and father-in-law and sister-in-law. What it really meant in his day was, and Luke is translating this because don't forget, Luke wrote this gospel after Jesus, and he knew that it was related to people who followed the faith, some of whom were turned in by their relatives because they were Christian. Some of whom were sacrificed, their daughters, their sons. And some mother-in-laws and daughter-in-laws probably say, well, it was right, she should have been sacrificed. No, that's not what Jesus is talking about. Jesus is talking about us as we stand up for our faith and be proud of it. And nobody's going to compliment you. Oh, what a good Catholic. They're going to mock you. They're not going to say what a good Christian you are, forgiving, loving, following Jesus and his Holy Mother. No, they're going to mock us. What a waste of time. You're putting all your energy in fake stuff, in spiritual stuff. But we who know, we who are the members of the family of Jesus Christ, know that what we're doing is right. We're not standing up for false politics. I don't care who pronounces it. We're not standing up for false protests, no matter what the issue is. We have to stand up and live our lives as Christians and be ready to suffer. The letter to the Hebrews made that very clear. We're challenged to stand up. We're challenged to take our place in society. It's not automatic. And when Jesus does come back, how are you going to face him? I see you, but it's language. How are we going to face him? Are we going to face him with authentic faith and authentic respect for each other? Or go with the crowd? Or go with the newest protest? Or go with the newest argument? We are meant to be people who carry the word, gospel people who teach the word. And we can do it. You know how well it's done online, whether it's any media you use, your Twitter, your Facebook, your posts. You see what's out there. And you see how the church is not respected as the family of God. Do you counter that with positive words and prayer? We have the choice. When Jesus returns, he's bringing fire to the earth. I hope it's the fire of love for all of us.